A mother's love is never her own. As soon as her belly swells, she is forever transformed. She's made into something new. Her baby, like a potter, imprints upon her, pressing into the clay of flesh and bone, and taking a part of her heart with them as they go. And then there are pieces of her walking around outside in the world. And though she aches and she worries, she never shows it, but instead stands strong and loves deeper. Hi, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. And Mom, if you ask all of us, all of these goobers, those of us that have taken pieces of you and traveled far and wide and laughed and cried and triumphed and fell short and grew and discovered and found joy and found sadness and connected and loved and lived so much life, we'd all say that that is all because of you. So today, on this Mother's Day, we honor you with the stories, the anecdotes, and the so many reasons why we love you so very much. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. And although there is so much joy to be had, we know, well, we sometimes make you mad.
Probably lots of times I made Mom angry, especially when I was younger, but in particular, probably when I tried to get in a fight with Bobby at Stadium Pizza, and I was disrespectful, and I won't get into the details, but I learned to never disrespect my mom like that.
So there's certainly a lot of potential candidates for this question. Me and Bill fighting all the time. The time I had my tongue pierced and didn't tell you for 2 weeks. But more than likely, the most upset you've ever been with me is when I put my own health at risk and started smoking cigarettes. But, haven't had one in a month now.
The angriest you've ever been at me. I have one. I don't think you have one.
I hope to God that I've never pissed your mom.
Yeah, I don't think you've ever made my mom mad. There's like a lot of examples. Something I always felt like growing up is that those countless times where I'm like, oh, I want to run away from home, or like I want to do this, and she's like, and you would be like, oh, go ahead, run away from her. You're just gonna get put at home. Someone's gonna rape you, and stuff like that. Like, scared the hell out of me. But I would say the scariest or angriest you've been was definitely the time you found my weed in high school, and also the same day that I revealed I had a tattoo. Rightfully so. Definitely a reason to be mad about that.
I feel pretty bad.
Yeah, I was scared. I was terrified that morning. Especially when I woke up and you were not standing. You were sitting on No, she was. You were sitting on my couch. You were sitting on my bed, looking at me like, "Do you smoke weed?" And in my head, I'm thinking like, "Does she know about?"
Do the quick math.
Yeah. So it's like, do I lie and see if I get away with it, or do I not lie? So yeah, I would say that's probably the angriest you've ever been with me, and rightfully so. Definitely deserved, I think.
I don't think she's ever been angry with me.
Really, I was trying to think of the time that I got you the angriest, and I think it was in Thanksgiving when I spilled tomato on the wall.
I'm a teenager, as you know, and a terror of a young adult even, so there's probably many moments that we can pull from, but this is the one that, if you talk about Mom being angry, this is the one that comes to mind for me. And maybe you'll know exactly the one I'm talking about. I think it was middle school. It might have been early high school, but I think it was middle school. And you had just gotten home from work, and like we're cooking dinner, I'm pretty sure. And I told you had to go get me this thing for this project that I had obviously procrastinated on. And I was getting angry and telling you like you had to do this, you're my mom kind of thing. And you pushed me up against a cupboard and told me that you didn't have to do a single thing for me. Which is true. And I don't think I ever told you had to do something ever again.
But we're all grown now, and we know that you got mad because you were trying to teach us something about life.
Definitely learn not to take life too seriously.
She's taught me to give things and never expect anything in return. If you do anything, you do it out of the kindness of your heart and because it's what you feel, not expecting anything back or hoping for anything back. I think that's the most important thing that she's done.
Mom taught me how to control my temper. When I get really mad, she would tell me to count to 10, and then when that didn't work, she would tell me to go on long walks, or I'd go on the roof or something. But she taught me how to control my temper.
Your inspiration has taught me that there's many avenues to take. There's never any blockades that are too big.
That's cool. I'd say I've learned the most from you, Mom, personal responsibility habits. There's countless examples, but especially when I see them lacking in my students or lacking in just people I know. For example, sending me out of the house as a kid to go apply to jobs, not letting me come back until I do, or paying attention to my grades and taking care of the dogs for an allowance and stuff like that. Stuff that if I see I lack in my students, or if my students are just lazy or disrespectful to their parents or anything like that, I can't imagine doing that. I think it's also because I was just scared. Exactly, I was just scared as in middle school at that time or something like that. But I would say, you taught me a lot of personal responsibility things.
Learned so much from you. I think having me at such an early age, we almost learned and grew together in a lot of ways. And in that, I learned from your mistakes. But I also learned just from us having a mother-daughter bond and you being my mom and guiding me. But I think if I really boil it down, what you really have taught me is that being a woman is powerful, that femininity is strength, and to know your worth and to never settle, and make sure that the people that you surround yourself with are treating you in a way that is in line with your worth.
How to fake it till you make it. Oh, Jesus.
And now that we are grown, you inspire us. We admire you. And these are the reasons why.
You are one of the most hardworking people that I've ever met, so I'm very inspired by your work ethic and your ability to balance it all between being a career woman, being in school, being a mom, being a wife, being a friend, being a daughter. I'm inspired by that because I want to be all of those things, and I want to be as awesome at all of them as you are.
Always admired how, despite how hard you're working or what sacrifices you have to make, you always make time for family. And that's something I'm trying to work on.
How hard she works, and how anything that she puts her mind to, she's determined to find the answer and find a way to be perfect at it. and get the results that she wants.
Her never-ending hunger for more knowledge. It's something that I would want to kind of emulate, I think, later on in my life. Maybe not in my professional life, but gaining a new hobby or a new skill and becoming really good at it and putting as much effort as Ambi does into her schoolwork and getting her PhD and all that stuff. I hope I'm still that hungry to be more knowledgeable or have more skills when I get later down the line in my life.
So, something that inspires, I think, both of us for you, Mom, is
extremely persistent.
Yeah, extremely persistent. Never gives up. I don't think I've seen you, Mom, fail at anything. Not for
She has a goal and she goes.
Yeah, exactly. You have a goal, you go for it. You never give up. I can't think of a certain scenario, but just in your everyday life of whether it's business or school now or raising children or anything like that, because we're certainly a handful. Just go with it with grace. You tackle things head on and succeed every time. So I think that inspires me.
You inspire me with your perseverance and your continual strive to do better and do more, both in your career and with your family, and the way you balance everything and make it look easy, because I still don't understand how you do it all. And if you don't believe that, this is how we describe you to our friends.
The way I describe would be everything that their mom does really well, just a lot better.
When I talk to my friends about my mom, I tell them that she's the one with the answers. She's the one I always go to when I need advice or need another perspective or way to look at things. She always has the answers, and she's the friend I always go to first.
When I talk to my friends about you, it's usually my friends complaining about the fact that they have to go hang out with their parents or mom or whatever, and me saying jokes on you. I love hanging out with my mom and my family, and mostly just talking about how smart you are, trying to explain to my friends about what you do, and just kind of bragging about the fact that you just went back to school and have a full-time job and everything else that you do in your life, and trying to figure out how you do it.
That's Mom Bear. Yeah, it's don't go near her kids, don't attack her kids, or she'll kill you. That's why I can't get a girlfriend.
We could just tell a story how I described Mom, you, to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the first thing you said was she's incredibly smart. One of my role models, I owe everything to Mom. And I would do anything for my mom and respect her so much and all that. I think I mentioned you were scary at times and stuff like that. But I would say generally that's the go-to. So I respect her so much. I love you a lot, Mom. I always try to describe what you do for work, but I can never accurately describe it. I just say you sell medical equipment. That's not. I don't know if that's true or not. I would say that's how I describe Mom to you, and then when we first met, to my friends and stuff like that.
I would say that's accurate.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate too.
But we aren't carbon copies of you. This is how we're different and how we're similar.
She can juggle way more things than I could ever hope to juggle at one time. but I think our brains are very similar in the way that we're entertained. Like reality TV shows, we like The Bachelor and House Hunters and stuff like that. Also enjoying like watching or learning about a type of surgery, and it can be totally explicit and neither one of us are grossed out. Or like true crime docu-series, or like cold case files, stuff like that. We just both find really interesting.
Mom is the most driven person I know, and I think we both share a little bit of that. I got a little bit of that from her, but we're different because my mom is relentlessly driven and will never stop, whereas I'm driven, but to a point.
So I know I have your nose, I have your calves. I'm told we look alike by certain people, and that we definitely talk alike, that our cadence is similar. But I would say like the biggest similarity that we have is that we hold ourselves to a standard, a high standard, and get disappointed when we don't meet our internal barometer of that. But how we're different is that I can be what some people will call dramatic, maybe. And I think you have a lot more control over your emotions and can regulate them. I just think that's what comes from being a younger mom.
We are very different in the fact that I can't cook at all. Spam is my specialty, and she can cook pretty much anything. I think we're very similar in our California stereotype of surfer rat chick and skater.
So, let's say Mom, you and I are more similar and different, obviously, besides curly hair and that kind of stuff. We both are really driven, we're both really intelligent, we both hold ourselves to really high standards, which is for good or for worse. And how are we different? That's the tougher one. I would say, Mom, you love children. I do not like kids. Although I guess joke's on me because now I have students and those are like my kids now. So, not even that, I guess just differences in definitions of things we like, and that kind of stuff. And we're both like similar in that we will express how we feel about certain things.
Well, I definitely didn't get your work ethic. That seemed to pass me by, unfortunately. But I think we both do go out of our way to make people feel comfortable.
And although we'd all say you're Superwoman, I think that's a little too cliche. So these are all the characters in books, movies, TV shows that we think most represent who you are.
Kitty Foreman, because she's loving and caring and is always there to listen.
Alright, so, Mom, if you were a movie character or a book character or anything, who would you be? I would say Meredith Grey from Grey's Anatomy. Hear me out. Medical things aside and that kind of stuff, she always gave the best to her friends and her family. She's incredibly intelligent. She never gave up. And she did awesome at everything she did.
Also, she was just saved lives.
She saved lives. Saved lives is true. I would also say Elizabeth Bennet. Pride and Prejudice, of course. Not for any of the romantic hooty-dooty stuff, but just that, strong, always stood up for what's right, and always stood up for herself, too, I think. What do you think?
I would say she's like Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka? Why Willy Wonka?
Because she's got a lot of Oompa Loompas to take care of.
Yeah, we're all Oompa Loompas.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I like that too.
So my first instinct was say Elizabeth or Lizzie from Pride and Prejudice, but it didn't feel right. But what came to mind second was Olivia Benson from Law and Order's Special Victims Unit. Just because she has like this compassionate strength that I think really is something that you possess, and just like her desire to seek justice and do the right thing and be just a strong, powerful woman.
Mom, to me, you are like the McRib. In that I usually only see you certain times of the year, but I thoroughly enjoy when you're around.
Mom, you would be Sigourney Weaver from the Alien trilogy because you're badass. And if anybody tried to mess with your kids, you would mess up an alien in a mecha suit.
Wonder Woman. She is incredibly successful in her work life and still finds time to be the mom to all of us that she is. And, you know, she's got the great big old curly hairdo.
But as we all have learned, what's most important is spending time together. And these are some of our favorite memories.
Alright, this is take 4. Trying to do it without crying. But when I got home from my second deployment, and I wasn't in a good headspace, just talking to you and opening up about it really kind of brought me back to earth and reminded me that no matter what might happen in my life, I'll always have my family and especially you. And that's my favorite memory.
Okay, so favorite memory with your mom. I have a couple. And they're both around the same time. Two that pop in my head all the time. First one is right before I'm about to leave for UCSC. Going down to San Diego with you and getting first off, going to the museum, and they had actually a exhibit on cannibalism, which I'm like, such a mom topic.
That's a good memory.
It's a good memory. And then we went from the museum to they were doing a food truck. What are those things called? The food truck.
Like
it's a bunch of food trucks.
Yeah, just a bunch of food trucks.
And I got a blue cheeseburger, and it's delicious. And it was a really good day. I remember that. Another one was also dealing with college, but we were also dealing with the museum, actually, now that I think about it too. We were in San Francisco after just visiting UCSC, and we're in the Beatles exhibit, and it was the time you prompted me to accept UCSC's admission. You bought me an orange soda, and I think you tried to buy me a quinoa salad, but it was really gross. And then
also a good memory.
and hitting the acceptance fund and spending the rest of the day with you in San Francisco, and that was a good time. And the last one I'll say for what are some good memories with you, Mom?
I loved going to Disneyland.
Going to Disneyland, that was a really good time.
I think we should totally go back.
Yeah.
It's like a huge family thing. All the times where it's just all the family together, it's like always a blast.
I agree.
All the times I've embarrassed myself.
By tripping. By tripping. Yeah. Last one, Mom. Strangely enough, I just remembered it. Bringing home buffalo chicken fries with extra cheese, and dropping it off at home to you while you're watching Pride and Prejudice, and we're like, watch Pride and Prejudice on the sofa, or not sofa, the bed. Good times.
Buffalo Wild Wings on the bed.
Buffalo chicken fries.
Oh,
yeah.
What a power move.
Favorite memory is super hard, but I have a few. all the times that we spent going to like the stables with Camber, I think her name was Camber, and riding like My Little Pony Magic. Loved those moments. I still have vivid memories from the stables. But I wouldn't necessarily say that we weren't doing that together. You were there, but we weren't doing that together. So there was a time, I think in elementary school, where you brought me and one of my friends to Disneyland for my birthday, took me out of school. I had the gnarliest cold sore ever, so not the best, but loved that. I still have vivid memories from that. And I love all of our times, all of the holidays, in Big Bear, Christmas and Thanksgiving and whatnot. But I think and I loved Catalina, but I think the best time I had with you, it was just me and you, was our Dallas trip. Dallas wasn't even on my radar, and it was a work trip for you, I think, but we spent a good amount of time exploring the city, bar hopping, we went to that musical. It was just a really fun time. I think we had a lot of good talks. We went on Katy Trail and like had a really good brunch, and it was just a perfect mother-daughter trip. So I loved that.
The time that I broke my leg, so we had to drive down to a hospital in San Diego, but of course we didn't have enough gas to get there, so we had to stop and get gas, and she managed to roll over the manhole covers, and with me in the backseat, my foot elevated, I rolled off into the rest of the cab.
Between the very first time that we met, when we were at Bruce Chris and Bill was in the bathroom choking, and I had no idea what was happening, but we got some good quality bonding time out of that when we drove home in the car together while Bill refused to go in the car and walked home by himself. Or most recently when we went to the spa and had a girls' day and got massages and had mimosas and had the best time ever.
Woo! Woo!
Her being here when this guy was born. For sure.
A lot of good memories, but the ones I really remember are when I was a kid and I'd either stay home sick or something like that, and we'd just sit in bed and watch my mom's favorite movies, whether that was Urban Cowboy or Coal Miner's Daughter. Not that they were particularly my taste, but just spending that time with my mom.
So although we don't say it quite enough, thank you. Thank you for everything you've done and for everything you will do. We love you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. You're the best mom in the world. Not even a question, just a fact. Love you and everything that you do.
Happy Mother's Day from your most handsome and favorite kid. Yeah, that's right.
Thank you for welcoming me into your family, making me feel like one of your own from the very start. Thank you for raising an exceptional son and exceptional kids in general. Happy Mother's Day. Love you.
Lastly, I just want to say, Happy Mother's Day, Mother. I love you a whole lot. I know that none of us will be who we are, or do the things we do, or anything, really, even be here, without you. So I just want to say I love you, Mom, and I hope you have a wonderful day today.
Hello, Amberly. Happy Mother's Day. Just want to let you know you're probably one of the most hardworking people I know. I don't know how you do that. Wish you the best. Happy Mother's Day. I'll see you soon. Buen apetito.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Love you.
Love you. You're the best.
You're the best.
Happy Mother's Day, Amby. We love you.
Love you. Happy
What he
Mother's
said.
Day.
What that guy said.
Mwah. Mwah.
Thank you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day.